What's up, guys, and welcome to our first attempt at doing a podcast. We're doing it kind of, as you can see, the video style, but I just got this. I've got my friend Huzefa here, who you guys have probably seen on the channel before.
Yeah, very excited to be here. Thank you, Eddie,
Yes.
in welcoming me into your nice, huge mansion.
This
Eddie,
is your
Eddie XU mansion.
We are
Eddie
at
Chew.
we are at Huzefa's house. We hung out a little bit today.
We were out briefly today, yeah.
Yeah, I went to Platinum Motor Cars, filmed a GTC4Lusso. You had the 488 Spider out.
Yep.
And then what else did we do? Went to the mall for a bit.
Went to the mall.
I went to Ford GT Heaven.
Oh yeah, I heard
Ford
about
GT,
that.
yeah.
I missed that.
There were 11. I asked you if you wanted to come.
I know.
And you're
but
like,
I was
I'm gonna go to PMC.
Well, I was at PMC. I was waiting for you because I thought you were gonna come to PMC. We'd go together, but that never happened.
Anyways, the main topic I want to start off today, because we've talked about this for a little bit, is why in the world did you sell a Lamborghini Aventador and buy a Ford Explorer Sport?
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid question. And I'll tell you, I'll just give you a valid answer. Sometimes you need money. And, the Lambo was fun. The Aventador was fun. But, there were a few other issues going on. We were actually looking to buy a house, this house.
Yes.
So that was a priority all of a sudden. And so the Aventador had to be sold to help me buy this house. So I needed the funds. Another thing is, although I love the Aventador. Aventador is a sweet car overall. It was a fun car, flashy, doors go up, badass looking car. Always one of my favorite looking cars, V12. A lot of power. All that stuff is great. And then, of course, when you go to a Ford Explorer from an Aventador, it's kind of a letdown.
But
somewhat.
It was the sport.
It was a sport. Even then, it's a little letdown. It's tough. Yeah. It's tough. These things are addicting. Once you get into cars, exotics and stuff like that, it's addicting. So you miss it. And it's good. It's good to miss it once in a while. That kind of motivates you to make adjustments in your life to try to get it back again.
We were making bets on how long it would be before you bought another supercar.
Yeah, how long was it? It took me a while, though.
It took you 6 months.
Oh, I thought it took longer than that.
This guy.
I felt like a year and a half.
No, because it was like 6 months. You started talking about a new car within 4 months.
Yeah, I thought it was almost a year.
You had me. No, I don't think it was that short.
Maybe not. I had to sell a house actually to buy the 488. So
well, the funny thing was, yeah, your house was fine. It was a nice house and a very good neighborhood in Michigan.
Yeah, in retrospect, that could have been a mistake.
But the car, you had a very expensive car. A Lamborghini Aventador. You had a nice one. That was. Yeah. Was it almost 4? No, it was 3 something, right? 340.
It was at that time. No, it wasn't 380. What was it, man? 330. What did I pay for? 350, 355. Maybe
okay,
I
right.
paid $355.
Somewhere, yeah.
And I think I sold it. What did I sell it for? $330 or $330.
That's not bad for an
yeah,
Aventador. The point I was getting at was the house was a nice house, but it wasn't quite. John, I think, brought this up. It wasn't Lamborghini Aventador.
No, that was the problem.
So we gave you endless crap for weeks and weeks. We're like, you should buy a better house. You need to buy a big baller house.
Well, like you said,
nothing happened until your daughters. He was like, yeah, so I'm gonna sell the house. We're like, what happened? You wouldn't sell it. And I asked my daughter if she liked the idea of moving to a new house and selling this one, and she goes, nobody's gonna buy this house. It's ugly. Immediately, the house is up for sale.
I know, that's what they said. It was so they made some valid points about that, but it was a nice house. That's the house I grew up in, actually, but I never really felt like it was our house. It was my parents' house. So that was one issue. Another thing is the Lambo was very close to the house value. It was getting closer to the house value. So it looked awkward. It was awkward to have that expensive a house.
Nah.
A car in a house like that. Yes.
Well, between all of Nick and I's cars, we had 2 R8s.
Oh, yeah,
an
that's
RS7,
right.
an S4.
Jeez.
Those were worth about what the condo was worth that we were renting. Yeah, we actually had a kid. One day I had the i8 out front. The R8 was pulled out, I think, and there were a couple more cars. And the kid was like, do you own a car dealership? I was like, no, personal cars. And you brought the Lambo by once.
That's right, yes.
And
I bought the
we were standing
Aventador,
in the balcony, and people... So, I used to live in... I rented for 2 years after graduating, and I actually moved 3 times in 3 years, so it didn't make sense to buy a house at the time. We were renting a nice condo in Northville, Michigan, and you had the Aventador in the driveway, which literally costs as much as those condos did.
Yeah, that's
They're just
crazy.
like the like townhomes.
You're right.
And everybody driving by would like slow down suddenly and just like, why is there a matte black Aventador in this
Yeah, it was an
driveway?
awkward. It was probably a very awkward thing. You don't picture an Aventador being in that
They
area.
probably thought we were drug dealers
Yes.
because between
Yeah, you guys are young.
the Ferraris,
Yeah.
the purple GT3 RSs, the
Right.
R8s, the I, yeah. They
I mean,
probably-
drug dealers or YouTubers, one or the other.
I'm gonna stick on that second channel there. Don't need to do the first one. So yeah, you sold the Aventador, bought a Ford Explorer Sport, which
Yeah.
it is on the internet that you honestly believe is as good as a Range Rover.
Yeah, we took that video. We did that video, and that video did really surprisingly well. It was funny.
Okay, be honest now.
Yeah.
Did you actually mean that?
Yeah, I mean, did I mean that? In some aspects. I mean, if you just dumb down the car experience, okay? If I'm trying to be very practical about a car, okay? Point A to point B. Heated seats, heating steering wheel, all-wheel drive, drives great in the snow, does the job,
Yeah.
comfortable, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think that's great. If you dumb down the car experience, which I was dumbing down, okay? Meaning the Range Rover is obviously much more comfortable, luxurious, chariot type of vehicle.
Yeah.
You've got the brand name, the status, all that badass performing off-road, which no one really does in a Range Rover, but
No.
still you have that status symbol of being able to do that. That's phenomenal. The Explorer, of course, doesn't have all that, but it has a lot, and they copied. I mean, the styling
is extremely similar, yeah.
similar, which is a turnoff to me if I'm a Range Rover buyer, because I don't want it to look that close to a Ford Explorer.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that's an issue. Now, if the looks were not as similar, I mean, then it's different in some aspects. But the Range Rover is obviously much more luxurious car than the Ford Explorer, yes. But I think the Ford Explorer packs in a lot of value. If you're looking at it from a value perspective,
Yes.
which is what I was trying to do. Instead of I mean, you could say that even about a Ferrari and, for example, the Corvette, the new Corvette.
Yeah.
You know, today actually it was funny. In Birmingham, we parked the Ferrari. These two old guys come up to it and while I was still in there, like, oh my God, that's a new Ferrari. That's new. And then his friend goes, well, why don't you just wait till the new Corvette comes, and it's only going to be 50,000 instead of 250,000.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking to myself, I could see a lot of people are going to make that comparison.
Yeah.
And it's fine. You can make that comparison. I personally think the new Corvettes, they look really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not a Ferrari. But
Would you ever? Yeah,
value.
exactly. As a Ferrari
Yes,
Lambo owner,
right.
would you ever buy a mid-engine Corvette?
Would I?
I mean, you're getting to that age now. I think your AARP card is in the mailbox.
Getting to that
I saw
age
you wearing
now.
jean shorts the other
Right.
day. You got. I think your wife bought you some
I
white
don't
New
think I
Balance.
own a pair of jean shorts.
Oh God, I wouldn't want to see you in jean shorts. But would you buy a mid-engine Corvette?
That's a good question. That's a tough one. I don't know.
Because in case you guys aren't familiar, let's go through your exotic car ownership history. Where do we start? What was the first
Yeah,
one?
where's the Audi R8? No,
Yes.
well, I
The
haven't.
V8.
Do you consider Porsche 911 an exotic?
That was just a Carrera, though, right?
Okay, yeah, that was
so
the
it wasn't
C4S.
Yeah,
Yeah.
C4S. That's a normal sports
Yeah.
car. It's nice.
It's
but-
a nice car. It was a nice car.
R8.
R8, Audi R8. Yep.
Did we talk about the first Ferrari?
Yeah, that's fine. The 430 that got totaled within a few days. Yes.
Saya
I
told me
had
to
it.
ask you about your as a lesson. It's a lesson. If
It's
you
a
want to talk,
lesson.
we could talk about it.
Oh yeah, he's giving you ideas of what to talk about. Jeez.
In summary, don't drive a Ferrari
Ferrari
without insurance.
Yes.
Anyways,
Yes. A
430.
great lesson, Syed. Syed, ooh, he's teaching me things. Ooh, we love you, Syed. Shut
LP
up, Syed.
LP 560 Gallardo,
Yes.
458
Yeah.
Huracan is when I
Huracan.
finally met you. No, I met you
And-
before you bought the Huracan. You had the
You
M6.
met me when I had the M6,
Grand
the M6 Grand Coupe.
Yeah,
which
and
was
then
sweet. I love that. how it
Sold the
looked.
Huracan
Yeah, sold the white Huracan.
after owning it for like 3 months.
No, it seemed. Man, I don't know how long I had the Huracan. I felt
You
like
don't. I don't think you've ever
9
kept
months?
a supercar for more than like 8 to 9 months.
Maybe it wasn't a year. I can't remember.
You get bored
Why
quickly.
yeah, maybe it was 9 months. I don't know. Yeah,
That's such a great car, though. We get bored
that
quickly.
was a cool car. That was really it was well made.
And then you went to Aventador,
Aventador.
and now it's a 488 Spider.
488 Spider. Yeah.
What made you go for 488 and not the 458? Yeah, I got him that. That was great.
Yeah, that was nice.
I
Nice.
saw that. I'm like, oh my
That's
god,
sweet.
you need
I
this.
really like that. It looks cool.
It's the right color, resale red. I mean,
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, so what made me get that instead of what, the 458?
Yeah, because you told me, Eddie,
Yeah,
I want a
it was-
458.
well, you
Find
know-
me a 458. I was like, okay.
What's ironic today? Like again, I was at PMC with Mobeen, and we were looking at the cars, and Syed had in his inventory a white 458 Spider
Yes.
that's sold now that you
Oh,
didn't
it's
really
gone?
like, and I love.
I liked everything about it except for the carbon on the rear.
Yeah, I
Because
told
it
him
makes
that.
it look like a ninja wearing a bandana across
You
his
get
eye.
too to me, that was a killer spec. I loved it. I knew it was going to sell, and it did sell in winter. And the guy was looking all over, and he's like, "Oh, this is the exact spec I wanted." I was like, "Damn, I would." So if I didn't have a 488 Spider, if I didn't buy that, I would have probably bought that 458.
That white one?
Yeah, that white one. I really liked
the
it that
boxes?
much. Yes, I loved it. But Mobeen's like, "Well, why, man? Isn't that kind of like a downgrade?
Step backwards,
like,
yeah.
A step back." I mean. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I understand why people say it, but sometimes I don't know. I mean, I would have taken it. I liked it. I really liked it. It is kind of, and if you want to compare step back, yeah, but eventually you reach a limit. Like you can't keep going. At least me, I don't have enough income to keep jumping exponentially higher and higher and higher. You have other things going on in your life. I'm not like I don't have unlimited funds, so there is a limit to cars. You have to be a little bit more practical. There are other expenses in life that are going to come by. I know you don't have kids, so you're like in a whole different world. I'm raising kids, okay?
I don't have the same income as you too.
I'm raising kids.
Your
okay?
property tax in
Kids
this
are
house is what I make in a year.
I doubt. No, it's not. You make more than the property taxes, but they are ridiculously high here. It's stupid, but so there are limits. So honestly, yeah, it would be a step down if you want to put. If you're doing that, comparing things all the time, yeah, it would be a step down in terms of price or status, whatever. But I still like that.
It was difficult when you were like, "What should I get?" And I was like, "You can't with an Aventador to go up."
I know. That's
you're
what
talking
I'm saying.
Aventador S, SV,
Right?
or like.
And I don't have the funds to keep going.
You could have done 720. 720 would have been a good option.
I really like the 720.
If we're okay with it not working some of the time.
That's the problem that gets me. Right.
So did you hear what happened to the white 720 at Platinum?
No.
Well, it just died.
Oh, really?
Like it was running one day, and then just no electricity was in the car anymore, and they couldn't open it. They couldn't open any door, so it's been like a little while, and eventually they figured out some way to pop. When I was there, the trunk was popping, had a trickle charger on it.
Oh man. Well, okay, so in that case, I don't think it was plugged in. The trickle charger
wasn't plugged in
right?
on a trickle charger. So your car is always on a trickle charger.
Yeah, you have.
Are you mixing water and Coke?
Well, I mean, I don't want the podcast to stop. Okay, I'm being.
So now you're drinking watered down Coke?
It's liquid. Yeah,
You're
big
a
deal.
weird man.
It's liquid.
That's gross. It's either Coke flavored water or watered down Coke.
Yeah, it's liquid. Big
So
deal.
one thing I found out with McLarens is they are a lot more conducive to sending a check engine light, because some of the things where your Ferrari wouldn't even bother notifying you, McLaren will. For example, this guy that I follow on Instagram, he was at a track day, and he filled up his car with fuel, and it threw a check engine light. He goes, "What the heck? I'm not going to track my car with a check engine light." Scanned it, and apparently the problem was fuel temperature not met. Which is not like a serious issue.
It's not like, that's not
you
serious.
can drive it. So his dealer apparently he'll check engine light. They're like, is the car driving normal? Is it behaving normal? Yes, just
then
go.
ignore it.
Yeah, we'll check it later.
Yeah.
It's probably because McLaren apparently is more sensitive and being safer. They will alert you with a check engine light for things that wouldn't necessarily trigger one in like a Lambo or something.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is interesting, but it's probably annoying. I mean, I don't want to see a check
absolutely.
engine light on.
No.
Because it'll bug me. I'll be like, oh, you don't know, right? Till you go to a dealership. And that's a hassle. When you're busy, you don't want to keep stopping at the dealer to get it checked.
Exactly.
And it's like, it's annoying. So to me, that's that's one of the big drawbacks. I really wanted the 720S. If I was going to get a car after that 488 Spider, it would have been a 720S, or even before the 488 Spider, the next car, it would have been a 720. But now I had a lot of second thoughts, because I don't want to be annoyed going to the deal. And I've talked to a few owners who had the 720, and they said they did have to repeatedly keep going to the shop. And then the McLaren doesn't come out of the dealership fast. It takes weeks for the techs to do even simple stuff, which is honestly irritating, because Michigan, you only have a specific time when you want to drive your car. You want to drive your car. You don't want it to be in the shop, even though you're not paying for it. It's annoying.
Owning supercars in Michigan just sucks in general.
It can suck. People ask me, the guy I bought my car from, he's in California, and he goes, "What the hell are you doing with a Ferrari in Michigan?" He's like, "Do people even own Ferraris in Michigan? What can you do with that?" I go, "You drive them, just like you drive it."
I mean, yeah, I drove a Ferrari today. It didn't have much traction because it was still on not the
there
right
you
tires,
go,
but,
right?
I mean, you don't. Yeah, actually, you're not the typical supercar owner who like treasures and protects them.
No, I don't.
You just drive the crap out of it in the snow and the like,
You
salt,
know, it's funny because
whatever.
it's really dirty right now.
Yeah.
And then Mobeen's like, "What the hell? What's wrong with your car?"
Yeah, see, Mobeen, they take such care of the 458.
Yeah.
It's like always clean. Like when it
Yeah.
gets a speck of dust, it goes to Collie and gets detailed. That car is
So
like.
I made a joke. I said I went off-roading in the Ferrari. He goes, "Oh, that really means that you don't give a shit about it anymore and you're ready to sell it." And I go, "I mean, no, not yet.
See, if you're not gonna like that happened to be in the I8. Like the road became dirt one day. I was like, whatever. Just kept driving. But if it was the R8, I would be like, nope, turn it back on. I'm going back home. Like, not damaging. Even the RS7, I wouldn't. I've spent way too much time and effort and money paint protecting that car.
Right.
The whole thing is pretty much paint protected now. It's like 85%. And like Darren at Sunshine was, we should have just done the whole car from the get-go. It was like.
Yeah, probably. You're so anal about things that, I know. It'll freak you out if it's not.
Protect the paint.
I don't really care. I mean, I do care to a certain degree, but whatever. Car's a
you,
car.
it's- yeah, it's,
I'm going to sell it eventually again, and I had my fun with it. And then time for somebody else to have fun.
Good luck with the next owner.
Yeah, good luck with it. No, there's nothing wrong with it, okay, physically
Other
or
than the fact
mechanically.
that he drove it and his
okay?
grubby little hands touched it.
And I wash my hands all the time. My hands are sticky. I don't like it. I don't like the oily hands. I wash it because even this.
Thank God you're a dentist. Don't be sticking your sticky
I
oily hands at
I
people's
always wash my hands. So that's not an issue. But it's a fun car. It's a beautiful car. But that's the only issue with McLaren. Okay, is that quality. I don't know if they are going to get to the root of this issue because it's 2020 now. I mean, you should be able to make good cars.
It's almost 2020.
Right?
Like
Yeah, it's almost 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you should be able to make good cars. I mean, Ferrari's come a long way. Their cars are, the new ones are really well made. Lambo, same thing. Of course, they use Audi technology in it, and it's done amazing job for Lambo, all-wheel drive, the electronics.
McLaren's new. That's the problem, I think.
What do you mean new? Like what?
They haven't been making. They've been making road cars since 2012 with the 12C.
Oh,
they were a race program, and then F1 was however many years ago.
Right.
So it's the 12C,
I guess,
and they're aggressively pumping out
all these models.
I don't know if it's necessarily a valid excuse, because a lot of the stuff comes from suppliers.
Right.
It's not like McLaren is developing window switches on their own. Like they don't. They just
don't have
the
proper systems in place. That's really what it is. The quality control systems that these guys have, Porsche, Lambo, Ferrari, McLaren doesn't apparently have.
But they're so great. Oh my God, I love driving them.
You know, it was fun. Like I just remember the 600 LT I drove at Sayed's, the black one. And,
that one. Okay.
And yeah, he wanted me to buy that ideally if I was gonna buy another car, and it was a nice car. It was a lot of fun. I wasn't amazed by it, right? It's like a very track-oriented car. So to me, it was like, it's nice, and it's really cool. You're in this carbon tub. The feel of sitting in that tub is pretty different. It's no other vehicle like Ferrari, Lambo, Porsche doesn't have that feeling that McLaren does. Like you are really low to the ground. I felt like you're almost like your butt is touching the ground. And then the way it drives, the way it handles, it's a very different car. It is like a race car. It's really cool. But, still, it didn't
wow you enough.
Didn't wow me enough in that regards.
Yeah.
And he kind of knew that, too. He's like, you like Flash. So
exactly.
You want a Ferrari. And I go, or a Lambo is what I kind of gravitate to.
The thing, I knew as soon as you bought an Aventador, you weren't quite about because, if you were about the driving dynamics, you'd be like Richard or John. You'd have a GT3 car.
Yes.
You'd have a Porsche GT car.
I would have a Porsche in the stable.
For you, it's the overall exotic
experience.
The noise.
Yes, I love the noise,
up,
the doors.
The women throwing themselves at you.
That doesn't happen, all right?
No, it doesn't. It's usually like men and boys. Oh my God, Lamborghini. Oh my God, whatever car it is.
I mean, you get a few gold digger women here and there, but that's like
mostly
it's
mostly
any car,
dudes.
so it's mostly dudes. So that's typical.
Which I'm sure you also love, but
thanks.
You're liking the 488 right now. I drove a GTC4Lusso T today, which you clearly know nothing about because we were telling you how.
Yeah,
like,
I thought it was all-wheel drive.
Well, it is the V12. No, we were telling you that it's hybrid and was made in 2002.
Yeah, I was like, my mind was distracted. I was trying to do an Instagram post, and then you were like babbling in my ear. I was just repeating it because
like-
you usually know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
So
I built up my credibility with Huzefa, so he'll believe whatever I say. He's like, when was it made? I was like, 2002. They made it from 2002 to 04. And he's like, oh, okay, so 2002 Ferrari. How much did it cost? I was like, $67,000. He's like, what? 67? This was 67.
I know my numbers. So when you said 67, that's when I knew it was bullshit.
I also told you it was front wheel drive,
Yeah,
and you're
I was trying to ignore that. All right, I was processing that and I was ignoring that. I heard Alex say that too, like it's front wheel drive. I'm like, yeah, okay. I was just repeating that. When you said 67,000, I'm like, there's no way a new Ferrari is 67,000. All right. And you said 4-speed manual, which I also ignored.
It's
briefly.
actually a 200. I think they started at 260,000, which was about 40 grand cheaper. 40 grand cheaper than the V12. It's about 10 grand per cylinder.
Wow.
It's 602 horsepower, 568 pound-feet of torque. It's similar to engine your car. It's actually more closely related to the Portofino twin turbo V8. So with the GTC4Lusso T, you get V8 twin turbo rear wheel drive. With the V12, get rid of the T, it's V12 all-wheel drive NA. So you can't get a V8 all-wheel drive and you can't get a V12 rear-wheel drive. There's only 2 iterations.
Oh, really?
So they just added one. The FF was V12 all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And now they have the T, which is V8
rear-wheel drive.
And like the price difference ends up being negligible. The glass roof, the panoramic glass roof, guess how much that option cost?
If it's Ferrari, I'm gonna guess 20,000.
Yep, 20 grand.
Wow.
So that wipes out half the difference. Like, let's just say I want to save 40 grand. I want the V8 instead of the V12. Well, 20 grand. Apple CarPlay, 4 grand.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Even in my car,
I think
the Apple CarPlay was an option. It was like $2,000 option or something.
Front camera was like 3 grand or something.
Wow,
It's like,
man, these guys are so smart at that.
The other weird thing is I talked about it in the video. We saw it. You know the plaque like in your front trunk that has the options?
Yes.
Same one as in the back of the GTC4.
Right.
Has like scooter rear shields, aluminum tachometer, sports
Right,
exhaust.
it's in the back.
Then there's a line item that says high emotion, low emissions.
What the hell is
And
that?
it's 600. I don't know. We don't know. It is 600 horsepower Ferrari. It says high emotion. I understand that. Low emissions. It's like an
California. It must be for California.
I don't know. I was like, why is this in a Ferrari? That was weird. It was nice though.
I bet you
I'm
it's for state of California. They're really
Possibly.
difficult about those things.
difficult about.
Yes.
Good way of saying it. Yeah, we don't need a small cars here, which is nice. I said it in the video. Living in Michigan, given my very specific subset of what I like in cars, I would take a GTC4 over a 488.
No way.
I would. Personally, I would. I take the V12 one because the V12 sounds amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Because listen, we don't have amazing canyon roads. We don't have good driving roads at all.
No, we don't.
So you're not going to mid-engine, like, what are you going to do? Turn on the big beaver so fast you can feel your mid-engine balance? No.
No.
So a Grand
just looks
Touring
sweet.
car.
It looks
yeah,
sweet.
it looks amazing. But the
I want something that
GTC4
looks
is more
sweet.
comfortable. Remember, I'm not 5'2" diminutive little man like you. That isn't that comfortable for me.
5'2".
So the
It's
GTC
great for me.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
great.
it.
Exactly.
It's great 5'9".
For me, I'm like,
all right, 5'9".
You're getting old. You shrink when you get old. But the GTC4, the interior is amazing. I fit more comfortably in it.
It looks like I don't want to say it looks like crap,
No,
but
it looks
fairly-
so good. Oh, it looks so good. I love them. The
What?
rear 3/4. Oh, the shooting brake, like the wagon.
I don't. I personally, that's an acquired taste. I mean, I don't really think it looks that great. The GTC4Lusso, I think it looks better than the FF. The FF to me looked rather ugly.
A little funky. Yeah.
Yeah, extremely ugly. I mean, let's just be honest. It was a horrible design, and Ferrari struggled to sell that car. Okay, they gave huge incentives in the meaning. If you wanted to get a 488 or something,
Would you like a Speciale? Please take one of
right.
these.
Yeah, you have to buy that
Yeah.
to move up their list. And which is so annoying. Ferrari does that, but I mean, it was not selling. Okay, the FF was just not selling. The GTC4Lusso, I'm assuming it's not one of their best sellers, but they're trying to get more people into the brand, obviously. So it's all-wheel drive, and it has 2+2 seating, so that helps get other people kind of thinking about Ferrari differently.
Yeah.
So that's why they're doing it. I mean, the GTC4Lusso does look better. Definitely than the FF, because when I saw it today, I didn't think it looked horrific. I thought the FF just looked really ugly. I just personally, it's not a beautiful.
It wasn't
design.
pretty. No, it wasn't.
It's not pretty.
Yeah.
And if
GTC4 is pretty.
Ferrari, you're also buying for the looks, right? It has.
Yeah,
it's
the
beautiful.
GTC4
I mean,
looks amazing.
I don't know. I don't think it looks amazing.
I like it.
But Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
Because he made cookies and he burned them.
Yeah, they're just cookies.
Your dad is really unskilled in the kitchen.
Yeah.
He dropped half the cookies in the oven. All right, so gave the kid a cookie.
Yeah,
She's good
kid
now.
got cookies. She's happy.
We were talking about Ferrari. Yeah, wrapped up. I mean, I thought the GTC4 was great. I liked it a lot. They actually had somebody come look at it later today too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard about that. Yeah, he's really interested.
But I mean, obviously you like
good for them.
the flashy.
I like the flashy
mid-engine.
stuff. Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
I asked you if you wanted to look at an 812 and you didn't. It's like an
Yeah,
Aventador, but
I
better in
know.
every way.
Yeah, that's what
okay,
you
only
said.
downside, it doesn't look as.
It doesn't look as.
It's not as look at me.
Sexy, but
It's just as sexy.
It looks nice.
Doesn't
I've
attract
seen
as
it
much
there.
attention.
Yeah, so I mean,
So good.
it's an option. I mean, that's always the dealership. Actually, Collie said that if you're ever interested, what they would do is they'd give it to you for a day. If you're really interested in it, they'll keep your car, my car, for example, and like do a spec on how much trade-in value would be. And they'd give you the.
You should try that on a LaFerrari.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do that. I want to buy a $2 million car. No, wait, what is it? $4 million car?
No, yeah, they're like I think Spider or the Apertas are that high.
Jeez.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. Yeah, they're like, yeah.
How about you take a look at this Maserati Ghibli?
Right.
So one thing in the video with the 488 that a couple comments were like, he's a dentist? My dentist drives a Camry. How does your dentist afford a Ferrari?
Well, I mean, his dentist might be driving a Camry to work, but he probably might have another car.
That's true. You don't drive that to work at all.
Drive it to work.
Yeah.
So, so people ask that, and it's, a lot of people ask that. So what happened?
I became a slumlord.
I became a slumlord over time, and that actually made a difference. So, I bought a lot of real estate foreclosures one after another when the market was crashing. It did horrible. And I didn't want to get into stocks. I think you could have done just as good as in stocks if you started buying it at that time.
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
low. Okay, but I started buying house. I always loved real estate, actually. I always wanted to get into real estate when I was younger. And I thought to myself, I always wanted to, own land, houses, whatever. I just always liked real estate a lot more than anything else. So I was like, okay, let me just try this. Let me start buying houses. And I did. You make a lot of mistakes when you do this, too. I mean, I hired guys from Craigslist, and one guy was a crackhead. So he took my money. I gave him $10,000. That fool took my money, and he spent it on drugs. I mean, and he had a lot of knowledge in the housing industry. So I thought he knew what I thought he was going through a rough time. And I would get different quotes from people on Craigslist, and I'd try to go with the best quote. So he's like, oh, yeah, I could do all of this, renovate this house that I bought, for such and such a price. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it. I thought and then, of course, a lot of it went to drugs. And, crackheads, they disappear for a while. Then, when they need the money again, they start, calling you nonstop. He landed in jail during this time, too. So I'm like, what the hell are you doing in jail? And, because he didn't return my calls, and his phone stopped working. So it's crazy. I mean, some of these guys in the industry are very unreliable. So it's really hard to find people you trust. It takes a while to deal with that. Now I have a good guy, a property manager, who has a whole team, and you pay a manager a decent amount of money, but it helps in the long run. I've ran into a lot of problems in real estate by myself. So you learn. It's just trial and error, and you learn by your mistakes. And hopefully you don't make those same mistakes again. But that's what helps. So
lesson of today's video is don't hire crackheads.
Don't hire crackheads. Yeah, number one.
Don't hire crackheads. Step B, no idea. Step C, buy a Ferrari. Oh, jeez.
So the houses have actually helped me with the car stuff. I mean, dentistry is great, but I still remember this one agent I met, real estate agent, a long time ago when I started. I was amazed by some of these other guys who had tons of houses in their portfolio, and I'm like, how do I get like that? And he's like, you just keep buying one after another, and you just have to keep stacking them. And he goes, pretty soon, he kind of a few people told me that. Pretty soon they're like, why would you even want to do dentistry? You don't need to do dentistry. You could have all this income coming from housing, which is true to a certain extent. You need a lot more houses to replicate your dental income, but you can get there. If you are really, if you don't waste your money on cars, I could have gotten there much faster. Let's put it that way.
All right, it's recording again. Okay, we're having some weird, random technical difficulties with the camera and whatever. First time, literally just bought these mics.
You bought
and
all this from China.
No,
and
it's
you
not
went
from
to China.
It was on Amazon. Yes, I did go to China. But I did all my Black Friday shopping
in China.
Yes. I was through a VPN at it was, I think, evening there and morning here. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna be doing more of these. Huzefa will be featured probably frequently in these.
Yay.
Just us talking podcast style. Initially, it's YouTube first, and then I was telling you earlier. Then the dedicated podcast platform, so people can have it on their phone without the video running, just the audio stuff. I listen to the Matt Farris Smoking Tire podcast all the time.
Oh yeah.
So a couple other ones too, some NPR stuff. But yeah, initially it's just a video, and then we can go live on YouTube in the future too.
Yeah. Sweet.
Which I must figure out how to do that.
out.
I need to buy a table around this size actually.
Okay, take your measurements.
Table. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this table. Sounds like a plan. All right, sounds like. All right, thanks, Huzefa. This was
Thank you
fun.
for including me.
Of course,
It was
always.
fun.
It was always fun hanging out. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to see more of this guy, go to the channel. We've done a bunch of videos together.
Yeah.
Everything from him telling me to call him daddy to Lamborghini stuff to ones of we'll all bring Mobeen in. If these mics work well, I'll buy more. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We'll bring Mobeen in and have some fun, talk about car news. We'll figure out maybe a central topic or a thing we do each time, a game, or I don't even know.
Right. Yeah, we can figure it out.
Or we just spend the time making fun of each other, which is always fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll be trying out more of these. If you have any suggestions or comments or anything, comment below. Definitely always try to answer those. His Instagram at Huzefa75.
Yep.
Huza. I'll link it below.
AIFA, yes.
FA, yeah.
75.
He spells his name 3 different ways. My Instagram, I'll link it below too. Thanks for watching and
Thank you,
listening.
guys.